everyone, this is FantasyEsque and welcome back to another episode of The Sims 4 Vampire Amazon with the Salazar Coven. Happy Halloween to all those of you who celebrate. This video will be coming out on the 1st of November for me on a Sunday, but for quite a few of you it will be Saturday the 31st of October, so I thought, you know what? Why not have an extra long episode of Vampire Amazon so that we can hang out, spend some spooky time together, and, well, hopefully have a special surprise from Lady Soul, who is now in her second trimester, everyone. So, without further ado, let's jump into the episode. Look at how gorgeous she is. I get so excited. Every time I see her. Oh look, we're starting off on a Sunday as well. How fun. But this episode is probably going to be around 40 minutes long, and I hope we get some fun things done while we are over here. Now these ladies, all the time, every time, just want to dance. But look guys, look! Soul is in her second trimester. I kind of feel weird because it's as though she's our little baby, and now our baby's having a baby of her own. It's really crazy. I mean, she's not the youngest. She's actually the second oldest out of the 4th generation? Whoa, I'm losing track of the generations at this point. I feel like I keep mixing up generation 4 and 5. I keep calling them 5, but they're actually 4. Anyways, so this baby's going to be generation 5. We have that going on. Now, in the previous episode, Queen Wisteria was kind of deep in her thoughts, thinking about how she could empower her citizens. So as part of that, I think the Queen is going to want to consult our priestess, Lady Zelda, for some advice. Now, she's been consulting Lady Soul for advice on the Salazar army and military matters. She's consulted our scholar, Lady Oriana, regarding the breeding. But she hasn't really used advice from her own twin. Now, if you guys remember back to Season 3, or Generation 3, Zelda and Wisteria trained together for the role of Queen. In fact, for most of the time, Zelda was ahead of the Queen in terms of impressing the Queen and getting her powers upgraded in a sense, faster than Wisteria did. However, in the end, Wisteria won, right? Now, Queen Athena's thinking, their mother's thinking behind this, was that at least Zelda, even if Wisteria won, at least Zelda would be able to make a good advisor and help the Queen regarding matters of the crown. So, this is kind of one of those things, but also, it has to do with some sort of celebration, some sort of tradition event that the Queen's wanting to bring into the queendom under her reign in her empire so that her citizens of vampires can be empowered. And she feels as though the best person to speak to that about is Zelda because, as you know in the previous episode, she had a question for herself and, well, for all of you. Legend or legacy? And you guys had some pretty interesting answers. Some of you said legend, some of you said legacy, some of you said both. So we'll have to see how she ends up living her life and completing her reign. But oh look, Zelda, as usual, doing her morning rituals. Or well, it's the afternoon by now, but her daily ritual, right? She does this quite often to get a skill up. Now, one of the things that I couldn't really get done, and I feel like I struggle with this every single season, is getting our priestesses to a high enough level to give a fertility massage. Now, she's currently, where's the wellness skill? She's at 6. I think you have to be at 8 or something like that to give the massage. And I don't even know if it works on a sim that's already expectant. I don't think it does. But she has all of this, all of these massages she can do. She just can't do the fertility one. I think you have to be level 7 or 8, which is one of the reasons she's doing this daily practice, so we can get there and hopefully use it on some of our sims. But our alchemist, Lady Marigold, did use a fertility blessing on Soul, so she does have an increased chance of multiples, which is quite exciting. But okay, Queenie, you need to come here and chat with your sister. So let's go ahead. Let's, announces air. No, I don't think we want to do that. I don't think we want to do that. Let's discuss cognitive focusing methods and focus in on, focus in? Geez, home in? You know, I discovered that apparently hone in is not hone in, it is home in, like with an M, which is really odd because I thought it was an N. Anyways, I am digressing. We need to get the queen over to Zelda so we can focus on some of these matters. Zelda, I know you are really, really invested in the aspect of legacy right now, but you need to take a break because your sister wants to chat with you. Your older sister wants to chat with you, Zelda. Come on, Zelda! Stop being so passionate! Stop being so passionate. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and chat. Come on, chat. Cognitive focusing methods. Queen, are you gonna come here? Oh, I need to end the dancing. The queen was heavily invested in dancing as well. She's gonna step away for a moment. And these two are gonna chat with each other, Sol and Oriana. Oh, they're gonna have some fun dancing. So let's head on. I love watching them walk through the castle. It makes me so happy. Makes me so happy. I mean, all of this was so long in the making. So long in the making. And finally, they're getting to enjoy these spaces just like I imagined them. So let's go ahead, get these two to chat. Okay, so let's see. What's a nice spot we would like to retire to? Just while we have a conversation. Now, unfortunately, these guys, I'd love to send them out here somewhere, but they can't go outside because that would make them burn in the sun. So let's not encourage that. And why don't we come out back? Let's come out here. This is actually a very nice spot. So let's sit and chat and maybe get them to join in on a game of chess together. So we'll get them to go play a game of chess. And let's play with Zelda. And this way they can have kind of like a deep discussion while they also have some fun. But also, I'm pretty sure playing chess makes you more focused. So that hopefully is going to help them out a little bit. Oh, look at this. So nice. So nice. This makes me happy. Oh. Zelda's trying to be a bit smart there. She is very capable, though. Zelda is a very, very capable sim. Now, the queen's going to ask Zelda, I really want to empower our citizens, our vampires living in the Salazar Empire, and I want to do that through some sort of tradition, some sort of celebration event that we can hold. Something that we can do annually to remind everyone where they live and the community they belong in and the race they belong to, right? And so she's going to ask for some advice regarding that. What does Zelda think Wisteria should focus on or pay attention to? Since, well, Zelda worships quite strongly the aspect of legacy, and I feel as though because of this, the queen has some sort of respect for Zelda's opinion regarding this matter because, as you know, she's quite interested in whether or not she should focus on her legacy or on her legend. Now, Zelda, let me see. Hopefully I don't have this wrong. Zelda is an art lover. Yes, she is. Okay. She's a spoiled art lover, but she is an art lover. And as such, she was actually quite intrigued by the portraits of all our queens when we went to Castle Sheba during the death rites. And following on that, she is actually going to tell Wisteria that, well, if you look at queens in the past, all of them have focused on or touched on a vampire's instinct to bring everyone together and bind the coven, right? So if you want to empower your citizens and your vampires, you need to do something that's going to call to their instincts in some way. I mean, with Queen Sheba and Queen Narcissa, they had the blood banquets. With Queen Athena, the blood banquets were taken away, but then she brought in the battlegrounds and the battling arena. So again, vampiric power, right? And she's going to suggest to Wisteria that, well, we already have the battles going on, but maybe we should do something about our heritage and the fact that we used to have these blood banquets. And those were times where our empire was viewed as very grand, right? And the queendom was just viewed, the royal family was viewed as very grand. But she's going to say, since we live in a civilized time, we should have a plasma fruit banquet. So that, well, we let citizens know that we have this really, really long and ancient lineage with all of these, heroic stories, complicated stories sometimes. But at the end of it, we have lasted, we have risen to the top. And this tradition, this having the plasma fruits, is going to be a celebration of that. So this is the advice that Zelda is going to give to Queen Wisteria, and she thinks that if Wisteria is pondering this a little bit more, then she might fancy visiting Castle Sheba again, so that she can see those portraits for herself and meditate on whatever it is that Zelda suggested to her. And who knows, if she meets the ghost of one of those queens, they might actually help in her decision. She'll be able to hear different viewpoints. Although it's not guaranteed, but it's definitely a suggestion that Zelda has. So, Wisteria, I think, guys, is going to make a trip to Castle Sheba. So, I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, we have arrived, and already this place is filled with so much culture. So, as soon as you come in, you get reminded of the fact that we used to have Deathfest celebrated. We used to have Vamfest. I mean, these colors remind me of Vamfest. So, a whole lot of tradition that got left behind with, I think, was it Athena? Was it Narcissa? It must have been Athena. Athena kind of left behind a whole lot of things. And I know a bunch of you were sad about that as well, but she kind of left behind a lot of things and decided to bring in new sort of traditions like the battles, but she kept a whole lot of things like vampiric training and the royal studies that Narcissa introduced. Now, Wisteria kind of wants to go back all the way to what used to be in Generation 1 in terms of having that annual tradition that all the vampires can celebrate, something everyone looks forward to and everyone knows about, something that's going to be ingrained deeply into their culture or tap into their instinctual side. At least, that's what Zelda has suggested to her. Now, as soon as she has come, I don't know where Isadora is, but I think Freya's ghost is out, and she's going to laugh. Or maybe not. Is a ghost out, or is it not? I have no clue, but she's going to laugh at Freya. What is wrong with you? Oh yeah, she didn't like her Aunt Freya. That's right. I forgot. She was enemies with her Aunt Freya, which is really, really sad. But I guess she's gonna go pay respects to her elders. Now, as you guys know, or if you remember, these princesses were not really sad when their mothers died. I mean, I'm sure Wisteria thought about it, but I don't think they were sad because, remember, at the end of the death rites, they did kind of, or at least Wisteria had a little bit of a laugh, and then her sisters were looking quite pleased that they had the power to themselves now. And they were the generation in charge. They were quite happy about that. But, okay. Look at her. She's running from here to there. She's quite interested in what's happening. And, oh, I see Isadora. Well, I think you should come here and actually view the queens. View Queen Sheba. And then Queen Narcissa. And your mother, Queen Athena, of course. We need to view all of these queens so that you can kind of get inspiration. Get inspiration as to what you're going to do. What they did and how you can take bits of that, the essence of that, but also be yourself. So every decision she makes from now on, I mean, it has the potential of becoming her legacy or becoming her legend, right? So as a legend, she as a person, whether that's good or bad, is going to be remembered. But if she is a legacy, then even if she's forgotten, the traditions she introduces, the things that she does, they will remain. So that's kind of the conflict that she's going through right now. And oh, look who's decided to come along. Princess Isadora, or well, Lady Isadora, has decided to come along, give her sister a scare, but also, possibly, give her perspective on what these queens did right and what these queens did wrong. So obviously, though banished from the royal family, geez, we're going to get Wisteria to tell an unbelievable story. So she is going to chat to her younger sister as well about the dilemma she's in and really what she's looking to do, what she's thinking about, the advice also that Zelda has given. So she's going to be trying to chat to Isadora about that. Why? Because Isadora is the castle keeper here. Isadora has more connection or more access to the ghosts of these ladies than she does. So she must have some bit of knowledge, or even with all the scrolls and things that we have in the library here, and the documents, whatever else, the artifacts. No doubt Isadora has probably more knowledge of what these queens did than the Coven has back at Willow Creek, right? She is kind of a keeper of history as much as she is a keeper of the castle. So Wisteria definitely wants Isadora's input on this. Now, where can they go to discuss their matters? Let's go find a nice spot for them to discuss all of this at. I mean, we have this table here. We are seriously lacking chess tables in this place, aren't we? I know we had the towers upstairs, and oh guys, remember the things we did on this level. Ah, I miss those days. I miss those days quite a bit. Okay, I think they're gonna come up here to the tower. They're gonna come up to the tower. So let's go ahead, again, focusing, play chess on the tower, and see what Isadora has to say, perhaps. And this way, she has kind of more knowledge to base her actions off of. She's got hopefully a better understanding of her situation and what her options are, essentially, what she could do. Because the different ladies have different personalities, and of course they're going to focus on different things. They're going to suggest different things, right? So we need to see. Now, obviously, I think Queen Wisteria understands and possibly gravitates quite a bit towards Zelda's idea of having a plasma fruit banquet, because the queen is actually a vegetarian, guys. And the way we interpret that for her is that she thinks drinking from a human or drinking from a non-vampire is quite animalistic and it's just base. Like, that's not something that the royal family should be doing or the noble court should be doing, because, well, they're civilized, right? They're privileged and they're civilized, and they shouldn't resort to things that animals resort to. That's her perspective on that. But Isadora here has a bit of a different idea. Isadora is chuckling a little bit at Zelda's suggestion and saying, oh, how sweet of our oldest sister, or my oldest sister, how sweet of her to want to have a plasma fruit banquet. Why, that's not going to do anything. What does she think a plasma fruit banquet's going to achieve? You're trying to empower. Empower. What word does empower have in it? Power, right? You want the vampires to feel power, and who's going to feel power eating a plasma fruit? No one. And so she's saying, if you want to be remembered, if you want to establish yourself as a legend, then, sister, why? You have to go ahead and bring back what the previous queens did so well. But you have to do it even better. You have to do it grander. So she's suggesting that they hunt humans. They hunt non-vampires and they celebrate it that way. Or they drink from vampires, like you bring vampires to the banquet, or you even restart the whole blood banquet thing. Remember how we had volunteers in apostrophes, or quotes, air quotes. Yeah, we have humans who don't have a choice, but are forced to give up their blood for the vampires, so that you can show all the others that look who's in power, look who's in control, and look who's living the life that they can afford to live. So that's how Isadora feels as though the citizens should be empowered. She feels as though Wisteria, like their mother, should show her strength and her grandeur instead of doing something so weak. I mean, your intentions are so strong. Why would you want to settle for something like plasma fruits? Who's going to remember that? Who's going to actually enjoy that? I mean, everyone has access to plasma fruit. I don't think that's going to be something that makes an impact, makes a statement. That's Isadora's perspective. So now we have two different paths for the queen. So one sister, Zelda, is suggesting that they have a plasma fruit banquet, and that's kind of going to establish the queen's legacy, establish a tradition, make it so that the heritage is remembered, right? And then on the other hand, you have her other sister, Isadora, who's suggesting that you bring back something that the past queens did in full force, and you start introducing humans, whether or not they volunteer, whether or not they like it, start introducing humans that vampires can drink from, right? They can indulge from. Right now they don't need to because they have these potions, so it's going to be an act of indulgence. But that's what Isadora is suggesting. Now already, Isadora's idea is a little bit much for the queen, because the queen's a vegetarian, and like I said, she doesn't really think that vampires should be drinking from humans because that's something that animals do, right? That's an animalistic thing, and that animalistic desire they don't need to give into because they're improved vampires, they're civilized vampires, they have potions. But guys, you also have to remember that Queen Wisteria has an evil trait. And how did she develop that evil trait? Well, she was influenced quite a lot by Isadora when they were young. So when the queen was going through emotional turmoil, Isadora is the one, because Isadora is innately evil, she has a good twisted understanding of that trait. She kind of guided Wisteria's emotions and Wisteria's outlook on life, her view, and said that, well, sometimes there are things we don't like doing, but we have to, or some things that seem cruel, but we have to because it's more efficient or it has a better outcome than giving in to useless emotions or giving into emotions that make you feel good but don't help you at all. Like kindness, right? So that's what Isadora told the queen, and she's been influenced quite a bit by that. Now, since then, the queen hasn't really taken Isadora's word on much else because Isadora got sent away to Castle Sheba, and she's been surrounded by all these other ladies, right? But I think the queen's seriously starting to consider what Isadora's saying, because if she goes by what Isadora says, the queen's going to start establishing herself as legend instead of establishing her legacy like she would if she went with whatever Zelda suggested to her. So I think, guys, who's this? Is this Cassandra? No, it's Queen Sheba! It's Queen Sheba! This is exactly who we wanted. Oh my goodness, this is almost, look at her, she's smiling at Isadora. It is almost as if the queen heard Isadora's suggestion. Oh my goodness. And then Wisteria's having this light bulb, which is kind of like an idea, right? Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. This is so exciting. It's almost as if Queen Sheba, our founder, heard Isadora and said, yes, I approve. I'm here to give my blessing to this idea. You need to make us grander. You need to make us better. Oh my goodness. She's like probably thinking I'm so proud that I have a descendant like you, Isadora. Oh, look at her. She's even pointing to Isadora. I'm so excited. I can't breathe. Oh, this is great though, because this is supposed to be a Halloween episode and we have some spooky ghosts about the place, guys. I am excited. I'm excited. I did not think we would even see the ghost of Queen Sheba, and yet here she is. Oh, I love it. I flippin' love it. Oh, look. She's thinking about Wisteria. She's thinking about Wisteria, and it looks as though Wisteria wants to chat with the ghost of Sheba as well. Oh, this is perfect timing. This is almost as if the queen has come on by to support Isadora's suggestion. Oh my goodness. I did not expect that. I did not expect that at all. Okay, I don't know what kind of exchange they'll have, but the queen's definitely chatting to her. And maybe asking her, is a legacy really necessary? I mean, what has been left behind of my legacy? Yes, you are my legacy, as my children down the line, but people remember me as a legend. The traditions I introduced, the way of living I introduced, that's all been lost to time. What's been kept is how I ruled, the memory of me, or what I did, right? I ruled with an iron fist. I was a tough queen. I was the first queen. I was a vicious queen. And that's what the vampires remember and always aspire to be. So do you aspire to be as I am? Or do you want to be another child? Ooh, I don't know. Look at her. She's looking at the queen so seriously. Are you challenged? Have you been challenged? I think Wisteria's been challenged by Queen Sheba, guys. I think she's been challenged by Queen Sheba. So what is she gonna do? Is she gonna pick up this challenge? I mean, they seem to be getting along. And she's introducing herself to the queen. That's right, because she's never met the queen. Silly me. Here I am. Like, oh yes, everyone knows the ghosts of their predecessors. No, they don't. She's introducing herself to the queen over here. So this is quite exciting. This is very exciting. I did not expect Sheba to show up suddenly. And oh, she's focused now as well. Okay, so the queen's quite focused. She was happy. Now she's focused. Now she's focused. But I think this will have been a very meaningful trip to Wisteria. And look, it seems as though she's getting along with the queen as well. I think this will have been a very meaningful trip for her. Not only did she kind of get an alternative pathway with Isadora, but she even got to meet the ghost of Queen Sheba, which I'm sure Isadora will probably suggest was summoned because of how true to Sheba Isadora's idea was, I think. And now the queen, is she heading off? Nope, nope, she's still over here. I mean, it's 5 a.m. I think the queen will be heading off at some point because she's a ghost and I don't think she can stick around during the day. Queenie! We haven't seen her in ages, so I'm kind of excited. I don't even want to leave. I don't want to leave my queen. Ah, Queen Sheba. Her face is still so beautiful, I think. So pretty. She's got such a pretty face. Look at her. Doesn't she have a pretty face? Oh, this makes me so happy. This makes me so happy. And you know what? Because it makes me happy, we need to take a screenshot. Oh, my lovely... Oh, geez. Where did I get thrown? Oh, my goodness. I got thrown. Oh, I forgot about this. I forgot about this, guys. I forgot about this. Look. It's Lady Kali and Ambrosia. This was their wedding picture. Remember? They had a wedding and I think at the end of the season, and we took this portrait and we put it up here. Oh, my goodness. I think there's one copy at the abandoned Castle Narcissa as well. I think there is. Or it might have been moved. It could have been moved to Castle Athena. But I think it's still at Narcissa. Huh. Well, regardless, look at that. I miss them so much. They were such an iconic couple. We have not had a couple that iconic since them. Honestly. And we're about to have the grandbaby. I'm so excited. We're about to have the grandbaby of Kali Rana born with Sol, so that's gonna be super cool. And is the father related to Ambrosia by any chance? I don't remember. I think he might be related to Ambrosia. I'm not entirely sure, but that's kind of cool. But in terms of couples, we did actually have Morgana and Narcissa, I think. They were the only other couple that we've actually had since these two, but that was kind of a forced relationship because Morgana threatened Queen Narcissa and, had that whole overthrowing the castle segment in her life. After which things started to go downhill for Queen Narcissa. But the point is, I didn't really ship them as much because it didn't happen mutually. Whereas these two, that kind of happened mutually. And I really, really liked the good, that healthy relationship they had. Not like Morgana. I mean, I adored Morgana. I really like Morgana, actually. But I did not like Morgana's relationship with Queen Narcissa. So I kind of hope we have something like that. I'm hoping we have something iconic going on with this generation of ladies. Obviously, our possibilities are somewhat limited. The sisters here could go with either Sol or Oriana. They aren't cousins or anything. So they have options. At this stage, I feel as though we might have Oriana and Wisteria because they're so close, but I'm not entirely sure. Also, I'm just realizing that we actually had Athena and Nymphadora. But again, that was not I don't think I shipped it in the end. Now thinking back to it, at least, I don't ship it. Just because it was largely one-sided. The queen was in love with Nymphadora, but Nymphadora never really saw Athena as anything more than a friend. Anyways, lots of complicated stuff. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to meet... I don't know if we're going to be able to meet Sol's baby in this episode. I mean, I'm realizing that we've kind of gotten this far, and Sol is still in her second trimester, so I don't know how much progress we're going to be able to make. But, well, it was fun, though. We got to see the spooky ghost of Queen Sheba, so that makes me happy. Is she leaving? Look at her leave. Look at her go. Can we stalk her down? Up. Where you going? Oh, she's about to haunt something. Oh, and I didn't realize. Look at all these broken... Oh, my goodness. All these facilities are broken because the ghosts keep coming out. Queenie, you did that. Queenie. But okay, I think it's... And now she's trying to clean it up. You're so silly. So silly, Sheba. I think we should probably return back to Willow Creek. And no doubt on the journey, Wisteria is going to think about all these suggestions she got, the fact that she met Queen Sheba, and that's going to probably have some sort of imprint on the decision that she makes. So guys, I think we should pick up back at Willow Creek. Okay, we have returned to Castle Wisteria. It is 7:30 a.m. on Monday, and the Queen has gathered her court ladies because she has something important to tell them or to announce. Now, the Queen is going to make sure that her scholar, Oriana, is noting all of this down so that it can be distributed across the different towns in, not Willow Creek, but in the Empire. And the Queen's decided right about here that she is going to introduce a very special annual tradition to the Empire. And this tradition will be the Blood Bowl. So we are going to be having a blood bowl in, I think, 2 days' time. And it will occur every spring. Now, this bowl will be a place where plasma fruit can be consumed, where drinks will be provided, there'll be dance and merriment and party spirits, right, and beautiful gowns and all those kind of things. And all the nobles will be invited, the ambassadors will be invited, maybe some other vampires as well, who knows. But this doesn't end there. Now, as we know, the Queen does not, in everyday life, condone the drinking from humans, right? That's not something she's into. However, on the day of the Blood Bowl, after everyone has had their fill during the day and when night descends. Then the vampires will be let loose in the forests surrounding Willow Creek, and any human they manage to grab, they will be able to drink from without penalty. So if they're humans in the area after the ladies have had their drinks during the Blood Bowl, so during the Blood Bowl, the night of the Blood Bowl, if there are any humans or alchemists, basically non-vampires in the area, or even mermaids, non-vampires in the area, then all of our ladies and all of our vampiric males as well, they have a right to hunt and to drink. So that's something the Queen has decided. That'll be the grand celebration that she introduces into the Empire so that our vampires can feel empowered and feel the rich history they possess, as well as give in to their instinctual desires and exercise some sort of power and control in their lives. So that's the announcement that the Queen's made. I'm sure Lady Marigold will be very, very concerned, and she will want to stay strictly in her chambers during the Blood Bowl. After they've had their drink, so once night descends, Lady Marigold, no doubt, is going to want to stay in her chambers. She's going to want to lock up her chambers, because any vampire could turn on her and drink from her, and the Queen would not even bat an eyelash. Heck, the Queen could be the one drinking from her. So she's a non-vampire. That's a very dangerous tradition for her, so I think she'll be quite concerned, and she'll probably want to send letters to her daughters letting them know not to step outside of the embassy and to lock themselves in their chambers, take precautions as well, because during the Blood Bowl, you don't have to be in Willow Creek. Pretty much the Queen's decree that she is going to give out through Oriana is that no matter where you are in the Empire, when night descends during the Blood Bowl, then all of you can come out of your homes and you can hunt the non-vampiric folk in the Queendom. So everyone who's not a vampire, beware and possibly lock yourselves in your room if you live with a vampire, because they are not to be trusted. I mean, sure, if some vampires are nice and they have a good relationship with you, most likely they won't want to drink your blood, but if they don't, or if they're a stranger, who knows what they'll do. So there we go. Now, Zelda, I think, will be a little bit surprised, but excited by the prospect. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Okay. Marigold, I love their expressions. Marigold already looks very concerned. Like I said, we know why the heck she's concerned, but she's not sure about this idea. Sol obviously doesn't like it one bit, I think, because Sol's a very caring person, and Sol is just so soft and so sweet, and I don't think she can understand why you would want to exercise power by hurting someone else, especially when they're living quite well and alongside non-vampires like the Alchemist, and they've been quite helpful to them as well, so I don't think Sol understands. She's feeling a little bit unsure about this as well. Now, Zelda looks surprised, I think, that the Queen has gone this extreme with the suggestion she gave her, possibly not knowing Isadora's hand in this, but I think she's delighted because Zelda has a bit of a mean streak, right? So I think she's one of those vampires who would possibly appreciate this decision of the Queen. Now, Oriana, she's also very cheerful and very good-hearted sim, but I think Oriana is wanting to encourage the Queen in whatever decision she makes. Now, even if Oriana might not necessarily agree with this, I think she possibly feels that a better way to get her point across to the Queen or have herself be heard around the Queen is not to keep challenging the Queen in everything she does. It's kind of like a give and take sort of scenario. I mean, just before this, the Queen asked for advice in terms of the breeding, and Oriana already pulled one of her cards. I mean, she arranged for her uncle to breed with Sol, which means this baby is going to be Oriana's niece or nephew. So she's already kind of pulled some strings to make connections for herself in the castle. So this next decision, she can't necessarily go and say, I don't think that's a good idea, because the Queen already listened to her. She should also listen to the Queen at times. So I think that's what she's kind of showing us over here, but so many things happening, so many things. So I guess that's something exciting we have to look forward to, guys. We have Soul's baby and also now the Blood Bowl. Now the Blood Bowl is right over here. It's on Wednesday, so in 2 days' time. Now tomorrow we have Marigold's birthday, so Marigold's going to be aging up into an elder. And also, possibly, Soul might be giving birth during her birthday as well. So we'll have to see how all of that works out, but all of that's probably like the birthday is probably going to be, and maybe the birth, I'm not entirely sure, maybe in a diary episode, so we'll have to see how that goes. But regardless, guys, I think we should leave off here. I had a lot of fun in this episode, and I hope you guys did as well. Again, happy Halloween. I hope for all those of you who celebrate, you're having a fun time, even if it's at home and you can't go out trick-or-treating. I hope you're having fun watching maybe some of the YouTubers, streamers that you enjoy, or even chatting with your friends, or even watching movies, whatever it is that you want to do during Halloween. Or if you guys have dressed up as well, I know a whole bunch of people are still going to do that, even if they can't go out. I definitely am going to be enjoying myself. Doing what? I don't know. Possibly baking, but we'll have to see. Okay, guys, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.